So I welcome you all. I'm Craig Smith. I'm the very proud Executive Director of Community School of Davidson. This is now my third year, my junior year in this role. And what's great is now in those three very, very quick years, the familiarity that I have, the familiar faces, the relationships, all of that, it's been fantastic. And I do appreciate the continued support, trust, and partnership that we all have, which is really best demonstrated by you all being here this morning. There's a lot of things that you all can be doing at 8:30 on a Tuesday morning, but by being present and being here and knowing that not everybody has the ability to be here, that speaks tremendous value about your bias, your care, your desire to continue to partner and do what you can to give your students the best experience at CSD. I always like to make sure I put this up when I'm in front of a group like this. My email address, I had the tech department throw that extra S in there just so I could be a little bit harder to get in. Hold on. But that's because there was a previous student that was a C. Smith, so mine is CS Smith. And I always bring that up to parents that sometimes parents just aren't sure who they need to talk to about when something comes up. And I tell folks, if you're never sure who to go to, you can always start with me. If it's something that I can take care of, I surely will, but I will redirect you to that right person. So I always say, use that as the default. If you're never sure, and that's not just unique to this year, that will always be the case, just make sure you use that middle initial so you don't get that bounce back email and you think that I'm dodging it. Also, in a lot of my communications, you'll see I throw in my link tree. There's a lot of links that go in there. Some of them are CSD related. Some of them are just family related. I like to kind of show, that side of me as well. And I'm not just this robot walking around the halls telling their students to be their best all the time. So you'll see that that's embedded into my email signatures or my communications on Parent Square. You're always free to check out those links and see what's going on there. So I want to pause and give our fantastic admin leadership team the opportunity to introduce themselves. This morning I told them that I was going to hand them the mic. Obviously I'm not going to do that this time, so I'm just going to sit back and let y'all introduce yourselves. Anne-Marie, why don't you start?
I'll start. Good morning. I'm Anne-Marie McAfee, and I am one of the upper school administrators. And I've been around for an awful long time and started out lower school and moved up to middle school and then upper school. So welcome. I'm Sherry Corman. I'm the head of Ripple. Ripple is our blended hybrid program that meets out at Spartan Park. So if you're ever here for athletic events or out at Spartan Park, come take a peek at our classrooms and see what we are doing there.
Good morning, I'm Amy Tamales, and I serve as the head of upper school. And like Anne-Marie, I've been here for, not an awful long time, an awesome long time. We've been here for a long time.
When I say it out loud, it's just like that.
Exactly. We've been here together for many of those years, kind of moving the same pathway through elementary, middle school, and into the upper school, and it is a pleasure to serve this community.
Good morning, I'm Leslie Tonko. I'm the head of the lower school, and I have been here an awesome long time. And we're just happy to have some kindergarten here, and just everybody, we're so happy to see you all.
And I'm Lisa Humphreys. I'm one of the admin at the lower school campus. I'm also the EC director for Fayetteville and Ripple. And I also have been here at awfully long time. Since we opened, I've worked in the lower school, the upper school, and the middle school, and back to the lower school. Thank y'all for spending your morning with us.
Good morning, I'm Amy Teckenbrock, lower school administrator. This is my 16th year at CSD. Mom of one CSD graduate. I just took her back to her junior year of college this weekend, and mom of a senior. So my kids started in kindergarten and all the way through. So you're in a great, great place.
And then Erica Bowen, she had a conflict this morning. She's in a meeting. She is an upper school administrator. She, if you have an 8th grader, she's primarily your administrator, but she's not limited to 8th grade. One thing that I always like to tout when I get this opportunity, every single one of your members of the admin leadership team at one point taught at CSD. That is so rare. And for the longevity, the awesome length that they've had, but the fact that they all at some point, and they've served many different capacities, many different roles, many different hats, but to have that type of established buy-in of what goes on in our classrooms is huge for our teachers, it's huge for our students, and it's also huge for you all as parents, because when we have those important conversations, when we're reflected, we're doing so with a teacher lens and a teacher mindset, because we know how important the decisions that we make, or the decisions we're required to make, impact your students' experience. So I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to tout that. So a few of them actually alluded to this. I would like to do a little bit of a roll call. Now, I'm not going to ask anybody to stand. Okay, this is going to be a raising of the hands, and some of you may participate with multiple, but we're going to see kind of who we have in the room. Do we have, and I'm going to start with the line. Do we have any brand new families to CSD here today? Let's give it up. Look at that. That's great. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. So how many kindergarten parents do we have in here? Some of the same, very good. Yeah, all right. Just in general, if you have a K-5 student, so you're representing K-5, very good. Yeah. How many 6-7 parents do we have here? Yeah, middle school. 6, 7. You got an 8th grader. You got someone who's come over the high schoolers, high school parents. Okay. This is where we start with the emotional ones. Yeah. Where are our senior parents? And do we have any Ripple families here today? No Ripple families. Okay. And then let me see. So I did see some seniors. How many do we have? Our last student coming through as a senior this year. Do we have any? And we have a couple caps. No. We have all the emotions, right? All the the last that was not intentional, but you didn't realize when you were sitting there. Well, it's always good to know kind of who we all have in the room, because as I'm sure our senior parents will tell you, it absolutely flies. Those kindergarten families that are here, you'll be raising your hand for the 6th grade, 7th grade one before you know it, and then it just flies in that. So, and I'd like to think that it typically goes faster when you're in a school where you're having a great experience. School tends to take longer when you're not in a great situation. So I think that that's a reflection of part of why you all have made the choice, which is a recurring theme, have made the choice for your students to be part of community school days. So moving along here, there will be a couple other folks that are going to come up and share a little bit about ways that you can get connected and plugged in, because that's ultimately what the purpose of this is, but it's not the sole thing that I want us to discuss today. When we started having conversations actually early in the spring last year as an admin leadership team and as involving some stakeholders, we were talking about kind of what's going to be the ongoing focus for the next school year. And the theme that kept coming up as we rolled into the summer planning and into this school year was a re-emphasizing of the core values, the mission, and what we call the CSD experience. Like I just said a minute ago, everybody in this room, and it's the exact same message that I told our teachers and our staff on our first opening meeting when they were about 3 weeks ago. I said everybody in this room has made a choice to be a part of community school of Davidson, whatever capacity that is. And when you make that choice, you are choosing to embrace everything that makes that school unique. And when we talk about the CSD experience, it's not just this a la carte piecemeal, well, I really, value this, but this kind of thing I'm not really going to have my buy-in. It's everything. It's the entire experience. Now, I say that knowing that experience looks very different for each and every one of our students. That experience looks very different for each one of you. So when we're talking about later on about ways to get plugged in, ways to get connected, ways to be connected, we acknowledge that looks very different for each and every one of our families and our parents. So there is certainly no expectation for that to look the same for everyone, because that is not how we approach your student's experience either. We look at each individual student based on what their skills are, what their value is, and we see them as individuals. So there's a consistency there with how we approach teaching your child, teaching your student, to what we expect you all as engaged parents to be. Now, on that note, part of that re-emphasis was our covenant of learning. And what I brought, and please know, I have promised Murr at the front that I'm not giving these away, that we're going to return these to the front. So please, I'm asking, do not walk out with these, okay? Because then I'm going to be in a lot of trouble with Murr, and the person that controls and screams who gets upstairs and not is not somebody I want to have on my backside. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pass these around, and I'm just going to ask, I'm going to try and do one for every row. And this is something that is going to be in our upper school classrooms. And it's very similar to if you have a lower school student, you may have sat down with your student or with your teacher and read through it together. Because we always do this from an age-appropriate standpoint. I'm just going to pass a few of these around. But what is so important, there's every single word on here has done so with an intentionality. And it's something that is agreed upon by all students, families, teachers, and staff. And I'm not going to go through and read all of this to you, but I would ask to take a moment, when you have the opportunity, whether it's not today, maybe another time, to really look through the "this we believe" statements. And this is part of and this has been in place for a long time, an awesomely long time, right? This isn't something brand new. But when we were having conversations over the last 6 months as an admin leadership team, we started to revisit opportunities to make sure that this still stayed on the forefront. And it's really easy to do the first 3 weeks of school because everybody's in that beginning of school mindset. Everybody's got that enthusiasm, that energy. The key is going to be 5 months from now when your junior comes home and they're all stressed out because they feel like they've got 1,000,001 things going on. Or your second grader comes home and they've had a rough day and they're emotional and they're not sure how to navigate what the next day is going to be, okay? Or maybe even you get a communication and you read it from your child's teacher, and you may not necessarily agree with everything that's in the communication, but you sit back and you recognize and remember that this is a partnership, and that you're here to partner with your student's teacher, and you're going to work together to give your students the best experience you can. So that was part of our re-emphasis, which we are doing again. K-12, we handle this at a very age-appropriate level. For our youngest Spartans, a lot of this is just teaching them what some of this means and what this looks like in their classroom. To high school students, where it's literally almost like we're providing you this covenant, this is the agreement, this is the expectation that you have. We're going to ask you to sign off because we're going to hold you accountable to it, and everything in between there. If you think back last spring, rolled out a parent survey, very short, brief, concise survey, and part of that used what's called a Likert scale, which there were about 4 or 5 required questions where you could answer, and it was required either strongly agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. Now, I've been in this long enough to know when you roll out an anonymous survey, there are 2 populations that you are always going to hear from. That first population is who? There's the folks that they'll do anything you ask. Like, give me an opportunity to tell you how much we love you. What's the second population? The folks that are unhappy. No one emails their HOA because they just love what they're doing every day. Okay? So it's recognizing of really, you're going to hopefully get a good scope of those 2 populations, hopefully some in between there. But I felt like this was a good opportunity to share what some of the responses were. So this question, CSD is a school community that encourages and facilitates family involvement that benefit my students' education experience. Okay, remember there's 5 different categories that folks could respond with. 95% strongly agree and agree. And if you include neutral, because to me that's important because they're not disagreeing, that brings it to 99.3%. That is excellent. Okay, that is excellent. Next question. Teachers care about their students. 94.4% strongly agree. 98.1% if we include neutral. That means that only 1.9% of our families that participated in the survey felt like their teachers don't care about their students. Okay. Obviously, would we want that to be 100%? Of course we would. Okay. We want every survey question to be 100% strongly agreed Do we think that we're ever going to get to 100%? Probably not. Think back to the populations that I talked about, okay? But this is an opportunity to utilize and see, are we still progressing? How are we meeting? And honestly, kind of a soapbox. To me, I felt like this was a softball question because I see every day what our teachers do. And if a family's out there thinking that their teachers don't care about their students, then I'm sorry, they're just maybe just a little bit disgruntled. That's just my own soapbox. I believe CSD delivers on its mission and basic school framework. So this is very related to that coming to deliver. 9.7% strongly agree, and 97% if you include neutral. That means only 3% of our folks that participated feel that we're not delivering on our mission and basic school framework. Now, here's what I love about this. We feel like this is an area that we can continuously do much better on. And part of that is just communication and relaying you, because there's things that go on every day in your students' classrooms that you probably don't even know that that's reflected in the basic school framework, because that's just how CSD does it. That's what CSD does, especially if you've never had an experience anywhere else. So it's going to be, some of this is making sure that our families know the why behind we do what we do. I believe CSD is the right fit for my student and family. This is the last question on that, and I'm not including all the questions on the survey. That was just a yes or no question. To me, this is the most important question, because even with some of those other responses, 96.3% of our families said yes. Some of those families, that means that they disagreed with some of the statements, but when push comes to shove, they still believe CSD is the right fit for my student and family. And again, that's because they made a choice to be a part of CSD in an education environment where you all have more options than any parent in the history of our country of where you want your student to experience their K-12. And it is ever evolving. I'll stand here next year and I'll say the exact same thing, because there's going to be more options for your students this time next year than there are right now, because it's not going to slow down. Okay? But 96.3% of our families believe CSD is the right student. To me, that is one of the most important data pieces that I can have as an executive director. Okay? Our mission. We believe that every student can and will succeed in ways that reflect their own aptitudes and interests. That has been the mission of Community School of Davidson since the very beginning. And in 2026, 2027, that mission remains the same. That every student can and will succeed in the way that reflects their own aptitudes and interests. Now, on that note, I'm going to pause because y'all have heard enough from me for right now, and we're going to kind of start going through the batting order of some other folks that are going to speak about those opportunities for you to get plugged in and get connected. So I'm going to hand it over to Lori Ball. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. So great to see you here. Thank you for giving us your time. I am Lori Morrow. Like Mr. Smith, I am in my junior year here at CSD, but come to you with some years of education experience in a variety of places. And I'm going to talk to you this morning about continuing parents as partners and ways in which we can continue to work together to plug into the school, to support the school, whether it's with time, whether it's with your talent, or whether it's through treasure and some fundraising activities that we are going to be hosting and sharing with you this coming school year. I want to talk to you about some of the fundraising events so you can make yourself aware of these and be watchful for these. Some of you that have been here at CSD for several years, had your children go through, you'll see there are some familiar events. There are also some new events. We are going to continue the community card discount cards this year. This gives us a great chance with our local merchants to continue our partnerships, and it allows them an opportunity to receive additional support and business from our school families at a discount. We've done this a couple different ways in the past couple of years. We have put an ending sales date on the cards to try to continue to collect them. But this year, we have taken some feedback and we've heard some parents, and so we're going to leave the card sales open all year long until the end of the year. Because sometimes in the spring, we hear people come to us and say, oh, we found some cards in the backpack of my daughter's car, and we want to give these for Mother's Day. Can we still buy them? Can we still sell them? Or we want to give these out as Valentine treats. So we're going to allow and offer the sale to go on for the whole entire year, which I think will be great. And people often can come back to us as they need and want to enjoy more community cards. Last year, for the first year, we tried an online auction before we deployed the big biennial auction. And we used some new software, and it worked really well. And the online auction last year raised a little over $6,700. So, and we did that in February. We're going to move the online auction this year to late October. And we'll still be offering teacher experiences as we have in the past, 10 graduation tickets, a parking space, and some other great items. I don't want to spoil it all because I want y'all to be online and be giddy when the time comes. So we have this great online auction to look forward to this year as we continue to work together and support our school. We will celebrate Giving Tuesday as we have in the last couple years, and this is a great time, parents. We do this a little bit differently here because there is a donation that can be made here in honor of a staff member or in honor of an administrator as a way to show that you appreciate them. That donation still goes to the school, but that administrator, that staff member, that teacher feels that extra love on Giving Tuesday. We've got a new way to give this year. We're going to hold an event called Spartans Give, and we're going to be very intentional in these couple days to connect with our alumni as well as our greater school community and showcase and share all of the great things that are happening here with our students at CSD. And then finally, we will conduct give back events, which we've already had one. We have several merchants like Kendra Scott at Burkdale, like a few restaurants that come to us and want to do various give back events. And a portion of the sales that they receive then come back to us here at CSD. We've had a lot of parents, we've gotten good feedback on some of the restaurants that give back nights that we've done because people will go together in groups of classes or groups of grade levels or departments again to try to build that community. So everything we're trying to do is trying to give people a way or an option to come together and to support CSD in any kind of way that they might feel comfortable and give them an opportunity to, again, continue to be our partners and to continue to build that community. Ways to get connected. For you new folks, this is especially important for you. There are so many things that are happening here at CSD, and they are amazing, and there are a lot of different opportunities for you as parents and family members to plug into our school. First and foremost is you can volunteer. Our administrators this summer did a really great job and put together a document which is available on our website under the Connect section that outlines and showcases multiple volunteer opportunities at every level, K through 12. And it gives you some information about the opportunities, it gives you a time frame that the opportunities are happening, and it gives you a very specific contact person. So that is really important, and as you're thinking about how you want to plug in, where you want to go, I would encourage you to check that document out, which is available on our website. Upper school parents, I know that during your covenant conferences, you've had some opportunities as well. Volunteer opportunities were shared with you and how you want to move forward and how you want to plug in. Of course, attending events is a great way to get plugged in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sporting event. We have a lot of other events that are happening on all of our campuses, contact your heads of school if you'd like to get plugged in there. And we always ask you to spread the word. And I will say this community is so good at doing that. And what do I mean by spread the word? In the carpool line, in the grocery line, at the soccer field, at a football game, at church, at your child's lesson. Talk about CSD and talk and share with your friends some of the things that are happening, the things that you've been involved in. Because again, if you're a new family or if your child has moved to a different grade and different configuration, that's another way just by having those conversations with parents to figure out other ways to get plugged in. One of the things we do every year is we call it the Fresh Take Conference. And this is a time where not only our staff members here at CSD have a day of rejuvenation and a day of learning, but we invite educators from all across North Carolina. We have keynote speakers, we have lots of informing sessions, and we invite our parents, if they should be interested, to volunteer, to help in any kind of capacity, to share connections, to even be sponsors if they like during that day. The most important thing about this conference is for teachers and it's planned by teachers. And that doesn't happen in a lot of conferences. It's usually a group of administrators sitting in a room thinking, oh, we need to talk about behavior this year. That is not, in fact, the way this works. It's very thematic. It holds true to the basic school model, and this conference has a long-standing reputation. So we welcome any of you to be part of it in any kind of way. Last year, we had our biennial auction in May, and we raised over $91,000, which was a heroic effort. We had some great parent leads that helped make this happen. We had some great parent volunteers. A lot of you were sitting in this room, and we thank you. And believe it or not, we've already flipped the page to start thinking about 2028. So I ask you as parents, watch for communication about the 2028 auction. We are going to start putting things out earlier for 2 years as we start developing, as things are located, as we might start to need to ask for volunteers and help. So again, this is a 2-year effort, but it really is a 2-year ongoing effort as we plan and as we develop. And then finally, we have a lot of families that make yearly donations, and that is an opportunity. I know a lot of people that do corporate matches, or they have relatives. And again, this helps us in our general fund, where this is a place that helps us provide additional materials and supplies for our teachers. It helps provide various services. It helps provide staff salaries. So all of these ways are opportunities for you to get connected and to do as little or as much as you feel comfortable, to give as little or as much as your family can do. Because we feel very strongly that yes, you parents are our partners, but we are all in this together and we want to make this work together. And so all of this information can be found on the website under the Connect tab. And then finally, if you have any questions for me, if you have any suggestions, if you have any connections, like, hey, I just got a new neighbor and she owns a new business in Mooresville or Davidson and would love to do something with CSD, shoot me an email, share my email. If you have a suggestion for something else you think we could be doing or something to consider, I would love to hear it, love to sit down with you, grab a cup of coffee, and talk through it, because we are always looking for ways to, again, continue to work together as a community, work together with our parents, support our local businesses, and most importantly, support CSD. Thank you.
And I should have mentioned this in the housekeeping, it reminded me myself while I was taking pictures. So later on this week, I'm going to share this visual with our entire community. So it'll have the hyperlinks, the QR codes, things like that. I'm also, when I'm eventually going to share the archive of the entire video production. So obviously you're still more than welcome to take pictures of the screen as you want to, but know that everyone will have access to all this so you can investigate and just bookmark it and use it down the road in the future. So now we're going to shift over to some of our affinity groups, and Mr. Gina Phipps is going to talk about Spartans Art Supporters.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Regina Phipps. I am I've been a proud CSD parent since 2014. I have a recent graduate and now an 8th grader here at the upper school. And I have the privilege of co-leading our Spartan Art Supporters with Emily Duncan. And we are a dedicated volunteer organization committed to championing our visual and performing arts at our middle school and high school. And for us, this year is a growth and transition year. For those parents that have been around, Eric Rolls was one of our founders, and he is now the proud parent of last graduate last year. So this is an opportunity for new leadership and new opportunities to volunteer with the organization. And so Emily and I have committed with a bunch of other great volunteers to continue the arts supporter organization. And we're continually working with our middle school and our high school teachers to find ways to support. So how can you get connected with the arts? First, volunteer. We need lots of volunteers for events, for everything from our dances to our musicals to our art showcases throughout the year. It could be taking tickets. It could be helping to build a set. It could be helping to clean all the costumes after the big middle school dance performance. So there are plenty of opportunities, and at the end of here, I have a QR code that you can then stay informed and find out about the opportunities throughout the year. We will send out a calendar of all of the arts events that are happening in the middle school and high school, and you are welcome to join our team. And then participate in our arts night. So the Spartan Athletic Club has designated Arts Night on October 2nd, and we will be celebrating the arts at that football game. So here's a brief view of things that we have on the arts calendar, and I already realized I forgot some things. And these events are open to anybody, so from K through 12 to come see these events. So the first one up is a High School Musical, which is High School Musical. I was like, that sounds odd. Yes, High School Musical, and then the next one is Finding Nemo Junior. We've got the Arts Night in December, Winter Works, which is a dance performance. We have the big middle school dance, Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and then another High School Musical, Once Upon a Madness. And then we've got Tango and a Spring Music and Art Showcase. And there are definitely events that I've missed off of that. So we will update that and share that out with you. Again, here's the QR code. Please join us. We love having new faces to help volunteer and showcase the arts here at CSD. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Josh Worley. I am the president of our Spartan Athletic Club. So one of the things that we do is handle all of the support of our CSD athletics. So we started, I think I messed up the slide. Obviously, I need to get some tips from Regina on this. What we do is provide financial support, provide operations support for 42 different CSD athletic teams. That could go from raising money, obviously, to providing game day operations, and our gym here on the upper campus, and also Spartan Park down in Huntersville. Also, we lead capital campaigns for financial or for facility improvements. I'll show some pictures of some stuff that we've done here just this summer. And then we drive corporate sponsorships as well for our athletic teams. Where we came from is a couple years ago, we looked at ways to just kind of boost school spirit, to help out with facility upgrades, to help pay for a lot of the things that we're trying to do as an athletic department. And so Mr. Smith called me along with the athletic director, John Bellissimo, and said, you know, you guys have been talking about this, would you like to start? I'm like, Okay, well, we'll get started. So this was, I think, after you've been on the job for about a month. And so
First
we
30
got
days.
talking, November of 2024, we got a CPA who is our treasurer now. We got a couple more people involved in the organization, and we started off there in mid-year. So fast forward almost 2 years now. We have, I think the latest count that I saw was about 156 families. So you assume that's probably, double or triple with, students and with spouses. And we have right around 20 corporate sponsors that have been with us for a couple of years now. We're trying to continue the process of giving every CSD student the opportunity to have the best-in-class athletic experience. So that's helping John Bellissimo and Jill Cashin attract and retain the best coaches that they can find. Right? If they have the support where they're not finding somebody to take admissions and also trying to coach a team or a middle school team trying to wrangle middle schoolers, then obviously they're happier. John and Jill are able to do what they are supposed to do, which is manage an athletic department and not sell popcorn, right? So we try to provide that gap in there and help them to be as successful as they can. Ultimately, think of us as the fundraising arm and the operations arm of CSD Athletics. So how to get connected? Well, you can join the club, first of all. We have memberships starting at $25 that go all the way up to full tickets for the whole season for every basketball, soccer, volleyball, football event. We have community memberships that are just for somebody that wants to get involved but doesn't plan on coming to the games, those kind of things. We allow everybody that's a member have their student would be eligible for our scholarship packages, which we put together at the end of their senior year. And we have a bunch of giveaways and kind of the CSD Spartan swag that we allow, or we offer to everybody. We have a meeting every first Monday of every month. In September with Labor Day, it's going to be the second Monday of every month, or the second Monday of September. Usually we have it here at the Upper School and Media Center. This month, September, we're actually going to be meeting at Spartan Park because we have a soccer game and several of our board members are going to be down at the soccer game. And then volunteer to help out with concessions. If you want to meet somebody, the best thing is to get into our concession stand and help out there. You can work on taking admissions. Work with the team there, which is just an hour or so. The best thing that we can do from get connected and from getting involved is working with some of our open chair committee positions. So we have a volunteer coordinator position open. If you're interested in meeting a lot of people and talking to a lot of people, if you're more reserved and want to maybe stay in the sidelines or stay back, we have a social media chair. We need somebody to help handle and schedule our social media. So that can be something you can do from the privacy of your own home. And if you're not, wanting to, get out there or can't get out there because of work or family life, whatever it may be. And then the cool position we have also is event planning. So we're looking to do some things this year. We just finished our golf tournament last month. We're doing our 5K again in the spring, and we'd like to put together a couple other events. So if you're interested in doing that kind of stuff, we definitely have positions open for you. So these pictures kind of highlight a few different things, right? Number one, our golf tournament to the top left. So we try to raise money to help pay for different things. You can see our sponsors across there. It's also a great opportunity to have our membership come in and have a day. This was the day before fall practices started, so everybody was able to come out and kind of get a day before the craziness starts. You see the product of that to the right where we have a sponsorship banner, but also a brand new scoreboard that we were able to put in this past spring for our baseball team. And then how all this happens, this is our men's lacrosse team last Friday night. So one of the interesting things we do with the individual sports teams to try to get everybody to want to volunteer, not only are they volunteering and help driving a big piece of our revenue, but that team actually raised right around $500 in tips that night. So that now the men's lacrosse team can go, if they want to go do a camp, if they want to get an alternate jersey or whatever, Coach Bellissimo and the players decide that they want to do, they have money to spend it over and above what we have with just, equipment and facility rooms. Some picture down here is Coach Obando, our Spanish teacher / soccer coach, meeting with his team for a game a couple weeks ago in our newly renovated locker room at Spartan Park. We now have a place where 47 students can sit there and watch film. They have a whiteboard. They can get dressed. They can have their valuables secure just in case it's needed. Not usually needed at CSD, but just in case. And it gives them a place where they can feel like people are putting back into them as much work as they're putting out there. And then the bottom right is one of my favorites, is our new weight room here at the upper school. We had a great sponsorship with Cornelius CrossFit. The school administrators supported this financially and with their time, and the Spartans Athletic Club came together to put a brand new weight room in place for all of our student athletes. So, the basketball coach has them out there at 6 a.m. doing stuff. We have football using it for a little while in the afternoons before they go to Spartan Park. So it's all about kind of managing our facilities and giving them something where the players have something active to do, and then again giving them a best-in-class experience with what we have here. And then this last picture is a little show of all the benefits from it, right? Like this one athlete last Friday, he's wearing about $700 worth of gear that obviously nobody is willing to say, I'm going to play football, here's $700. So there's a lot of money that comes into this. What we've done here is the cheerleaders have a new banner for them to run through, again, giving them that experience. The player is fully equipped with the best equipment that he can stay safe. And the coolest thing about this is this picture was taken from one of our alumni that now runs his own media business, and we've contracted with him to come out and take pictures and videos. So if you've seen the football, and he's starting to do some soccer stuff as well, he's phenomenal in what he does. But we're trying to tie this all in with these guys that graduate and girls that graduate. We have an opportunity for them to come back and continue to be part of the CSD experience. And then lastly, I just highlighted some of our sponsors. If you go to our website, go csdspartans.com, you'll see all the different areas of where you can get involved, whether it be volunteering, be a member if you own a small business. We'd love to talk to you about being a sponsor. And then here's some information about being a Spartans Athletic Club member.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
There's one thing that I always tout to highlight. In a lot of different school environments, you'll see the performing arts over here. You'll see athletics over here, and they're that far away from each other. CSD, they work so closely together because they know that our students represent both of those communities within the school, and there's partnerships that happen there. There's support that happens there. I mean, we're having that, like I said, the arts night, October 2nd, Community School of Davidson. I happen to know that we're playing League Number Charter that night. So, just things like that are so also like, you don't find that everywhere. In fact, you don't find that very often anywhere, but here they work so well together because the adults, the leaders demonstrate the importance and value of having those work together. So, just a couple more items. As we're talking about parents as partners, we were excited to just make sure that we highlight our upcoming curriculum nights. Upper school, that is 8-12, grade 8 through 12, that is Wednesday, September 2nd, 6 to 7:30 p.m. This calendar is kind of unique this year with Labor Day being as late as it is, so it's going to kind of throw people off when we get in there. But K-5 is Tuesday, September 8th. 6 to 7:30, and then 6th and 7th grade is Thursday, September 10th. So I know that when we were going through that roll call, some of you may actually be involved in all three of those. But those are tremendous opportunities. I know it's a long day. We're talking about 6 to 7:30. There's trying to figure out your child care situation. Those opportunities are so valuable to be able to go and connect and have those conversations, have that dialogue with your students, teachers within the first month of the school year. So where I kind of want to close this out, if you were to ask your student, hopefully, what does Mr. Smith always tell you when they see you? Typically, those three words are going to be what they hear from me. This is simply to be your best. It's what I use as my mantra, and it's something that I started to utilize a lot probably about 10, 11 years ago when I started to see almost a toxic competitive culture that was developing within the school that I was serving at that time. And this is just simply the expectation that is no different than what we have for our students, our staff, and our families, is simply to be your best. Don't worry about anyone else's best. Just focus on being the best version of yourself. Now, I always bring this up in this. In 2024, in the Google form, I had parents submit this. The slogan, be your best, can put a lot of pressure on people, adults and kids alike, in a way that leads to burnout. How are you going to bring balance to this? Nobody can be their best at all times or in all areas of life. And I can't agree with that fully. Because we're not machines. Your best looks different every single day. And I think as parents, as a parent myself, there's days where we feel like we were our best, and then there's days that we aren't. But the beauty is we get every opportunity the next morning to be the best version of ourselves. And that's the exact same expectation that we have for our students, the expectation we have for the staff, and the expectation that I have for myself as well. So what I ask is just simply, whatever that looks like for you, as a very important stakeholder in Community School of Davidson, I wish you all to be your best in 26-27. Thank you very much. Thank you. You are free to stick around. This space is ours. Again, all I ask is that I get those covered in the learning faculty. So you can make sure that we'll get one pile of them.